Sam Spiegelman here with the nation's #1 offensive guard, five-star Bryce Foster from Katy, Texas. We call him the Mountain. He lives up to it every time we see him. What's been going on, Bryce?
Nothing much, just working out, schoolwork, and chores around the house.
Yeah, so you're stuck home like everyone else. We were kind of talking about this off air, but what has life been like for you? Just trying to stay busy, stay on, not only keep up with schoolwork, but stay in shape for whenever football resumes, and also just kind of pass the time by.
Yeah, luckily our district just opened up our football field. So we can all go run and do like some of that stuff on the track. But I have a friend who has like weights and stuff in their garage, so that's kind of like how I've been keeping busy.
How do you use their weights by staying socially distant, and then going to the track at Katy, but you gotta run 8 feet away from everyone else.
Yeah, usually we all have like separate times. So I'll coordinate with my friend, and they'll tell me like when him and his like parents are working out, and then after they get done, I'll come in like right after and work out with them.
Nice, nice. So you're
Yeah.
you're able to stay in shape. Right now would be like probably your favorite time of the year. You would have track, you would have spring football starting soon. You'd have to deal with me
Yeah.
coming by the school to come bug you and Hayden. What is it like just not having to get spring football going into your senior year, your final year at Taylor?
Yeah, it is kind of weird, especially with the whole track stuff. I had goals to be, like a six-time medalist, and I was going to try to be a four-time state champion. I thought that would have been pretty cool on the resume. But it's whatever happens, happens. You can't do anything about it. You just got to, take advantage of whatever comes next.
That's a very mature way to look at things. We would have loved to see what you could do. Obviously, one of the cool things when we did your finalist story was just about how much you're emphasizing track at your different colleges that you're considering. I mean, you love track. You're very good at it, obviously. What is it like to get that part of your season take away?
It's kind of like I was kind of heartbroken when I first got the news of it. UIO, they really tried to push it all the way to the last minute to try to get us to do it, but I mean, I can't really do anything about it now. But yeah, I was pretty heartbroken about it, especially since I started putting in a lot of work and everything started clicking right about the time that all this started happening. So it's kind of the bad part about it.
Yeah, no question about it. Okay, so you're stuck home. Um, what is it like? I mean, you haven't been home, for mornings and afternoons for some time. You come home for dinner. How is mom dealing with having to feed you 3 times a day?
Well, she's a nurse, so she's one of the essential workers. So she's been going to work quite often.
Okay.
So yeah, I haven't been seeing her too much, and only like the really really early mornings, and then like kind of late at night, about around dinner time. But I mean, I've been cooking. I've been trying to spice up a little bit.
What's on the menu at your residence?
I mean, simple stuff like ramen noodles, sandwiches. But breakfast is definitely probably one of my favorite things.
What's one of the best breakfasts you've made so far?
The best. Oh, I made it with my mom, but it had to be our breakfast casserole that we make. Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of like bacon, sausage, egg, cheese, and everything, but it's in like a casserole type deal.
Okay. I mean those are all ingredients we all love. So it's yeah, you don't have track or football, but you're getting better at being a chef. So
Oh
you're
yeah,
you're you're
always
being, you're becoming more well-rounded as a five-star prospect.
always improving in something.
What one of the things that we were talking about is just how to pass time. It's you have just more hours on your hand when you don't have to drive to school, you don't have to drive to practice or do track practice. What are some of the like more, because obviously you're a smart kid. What are some of the fun ways you've used your time, this extra time on your hands?
I mean, other than like working out and just schoolwork, I've really kind of bonded over my brother over this break. We don't get to see each other too often. I mean, all we can really do is play games with each other online. So we've been kind of doing that for a long time, a little longer than I probably should have. But yeah, and I'm just starting to get into a book. So
What book you got?
it's called The Giver. We just downloaded it, so I'm gonna start reading it this weekend.
You just downloaded it. Now you make me feel really old because we didn't download books when I was in high school. But it's a sign of the times, I guess.
I mean, we can't really go out and get it anywhere. So
Valid point. Valid point. You got me, Bryce. Okay. In terms of you're still a five-star recruit, so I know that and tonight as we record this, we're getting ready for the NFL draft. That's one of my favorite days of the entire year.
oh yeah.
Kind of to see your journey come full circle. We'll be talking about you in 3 or 4 years. Same regard. But everyone now has to virtually recruit you. You have five finalists: Oklahoma, Texas, A&M, Oregon, and LSU. What has it been like to get virtually recruited the last couple of weeks?
It has been a little bit different. Usually during this time, all the coaches are coming down to say hello, visiting during the spring. So that part has been different. But I've been talking to all the coaches a lot, more often via FaceTime or just text or on the phone call, or whatever. I mean, also Zoom. We've taken advantage of that.
Has there been any like moments where, cause like you've been on plenty of visits, you've been to all those schools that I just listed off, and you've been there quite a bit. So you're familiar with the lifestyle of a high profile recruit. Has it been weird kind of welcoming them into your home and being like, yep, this is what I'm doing. I'm reading The Giver and I'm working out. And yeah, what do you got to tell me today?
No, I mean, not really. I mean, it's kind of stuff you do anyway. You're just doing it in a different setting. I mean, instead of working out and doing everything at the high school that's just down the road, I mean, you just have to do it at home. So, I mean, it's just a different setting. There's nothing really changes about it.
What's been the most interesting kind of virtual recruiting story you got for us?
The other day it was my mom's birthday, and it was like the day before that. I got on a Zoom call with University of Oregon, and I was talking to them. And I go and I join the Zoom call, and all their all their backdrops were pictures of me. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, yeah, that's probably the most memorable one so far.
I actually just got a text that those were not virtual backgrounds. They all actually got that wallpaper in their houses of you. Okay, so everyone, you joined the Oregon call. Has there been any other kind of like interesting virtual recruiting stories?
I mean, I've been on the FaceTime with Coach Riley, and he's been talking to me about how to cook these cold steaks that he makes that are like his famous ones. So he's gonna text me and give me all the instructions on how to do it, and I'm gonna see if I can do it.
Okay, well, your teammate Hayden's been cooking quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
I've been virtually gaining weight from watching Hayden tweet out pictures of barbecue.
Yeah, it looks good.
You were able to squeeze in a few visits before this coronavirus stuff, led to the dead period. Are you kind of like looking back, like very thankful that you were able to get to at least a few campuses for a couple of visits to get at least something in the books before this like indefinite dead period?
Yeah, I was really lucky about that. I mean, in the Oklahoma visit was everyone I see online and stuff that I was planned for like 2 months prior or whatever. I mean, me and my dad were sitting there the night before that for their first day of spring practice. And we were eating dinner and we just kind of looked at each other. We were like, "What are you doing this weekend?" Nothing. And they were like, "Let's go to the OU spring practice." We're like, "Okay, yeah, sure."
Right.
So we just went there. But I had the LSU Junior Day visit. I was ready to go to that. And like the day before we were about to leave, ended up getting canceled, which was really sucky.
I think that would have been your second trip back to LSU. I remember you camping there last summer, but you were able to see OU. You've been to Texas and Texas A&M a bunch of times. The fact that you're able to kind of virtually talk to the Oregon coaches has got to give you got to be kind of a cool thing because that's not an easy trip out of Houston. So.
Yeah.
Do you kind of look back, like, do you really take this virtually recruiting seriously as you kind of navigate through these five finalists?
I mean, right now, yeah, definitely. I really think if I'm able to take these five officials, something's gonna set one apart from the other. I'm not too sure what it is yet. I don't know if it'll just be like the vibe of the area or what, but I'm hoping that's what I'm kind of hoping for doing these five officials.
What's your optimism that you'll be able to take these five officials? Obviously, what people listening right now don't know is that we've texted about trying to find some optimism in this crisis. are you still holding out hope that you'll get your senior season and you'll be able to take these 5 visits and have your decision in place by, a decent timeline?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm never gonna look at the bad side of things. I'm always gonna just gotta think about the good, especially during these times. But I mean, I think this will all be cleared by the summer. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Like everything kind of dials down a little bit. Life can go back to normal. Because you can't really do much about it. You just gotta keep moving on and stuff like that. So, but I am very optimistic about getting to take these officials and all that.
Tonight's the NFL draft. Obviously, this is like a great recruiting tool for guys like Lincoln Riley and Coach Joe, and and obviously like you're going to pay attention. Is there anything that you kind of like pay attention to when you watch the NFL draft?
I really pay attention whenever they do get drafted. I like to see. I mean, it can be like that this year, but usually like the coaches are there in the audience, or like they're watching from home, or they're with them, and that kind of stands out to me just because like that shows the relationship the player has with the coach. I think that's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, and those coaches are going to be recruiting when they're in New York, or I think it was supposed to be in Vegas this year. So they would be like online FaceTiming with you at the draft. You would have gotten a firsthand look at all these guys going in the first rounds.
That would have been really cool. That would have been pretty cool if that happened.
It definitely hurts that you can't get that experience as a recruit. Um, what's been like one silver lining for you for this whole quarantine period?
What do you mean?
Like something that like you said, you're getting to spend some time with your brother. Is there anything else that at least you're taking advantage of this family time, or something else positive to take away from this time where you're stuck at home?
Yeah, I mean, really just family time and, talking to some of my friends and stuff on Zoom, just making sure, all their family's healthy and okay. Just trying to keep my mind off of this whole coronavirus pandemic thing. Just try to keep looking at the good side.
Have you joined TikTok yet?
I've not made anything. I refuse to make anything. My girlfriend's trying to make me make something, but I don't think I'm going to do it.
I mean, I made one video and it was absolutely terrible with my dog because I'm not creative. If you were to take your girlfriend's advice, which I will tell you, you should probably follow it if you want this relationship to last. She has ultimate power. What are some of the ideas for your first TikTok video you're floating around?
I'm not too sure, but I assume she's a dancer, so I assume I have to do some type of dancing video.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can't dance though, so that's the only problem. But I'd figure it out. Some easy, some a little bit easy, but and then if that was fun and it went viral, I might have to make another one.
See, you don't if you combine something with being a 5-star with being the mountain and then just a little bit of dancing, you kind of hit it at each three right in the head, and you got a pretty good video, a chance to go viral.
The earth is gonna tumble, I can tell you that.
Oh man. Okay. We'll get you out of here on these recruiting things. So obviously you made it to OU spring practice right before this coronavirus stuff. Like you said, it seemed like a normal day in Norman for you guys. And then this all struck right before you're supposed to go to LSU. Should people be reading into the fact that you got up to Norman for right before this coronavirus, or would you say things are still there needs to be a lot of things to be figured out in your recruitment?
I say there still needs to be a lot of things figured out. I've gone to all these campuses quite a bit, except for Oregon. I've only been there once. But like I said earlier, those 5 officials are really going to be, the final matter. That's like, all right, so this had this, this had this, and I've been making spreadsheets every week just to see how my mind changes. See what's, what was it? Where did I think I should go? Last week. Where do I think I should go today? What about next week and all that stuff? So.
Does it
Yeah.
change that quickly that like every week you kind of flirt with a different team?
I mean, not really. It just kind of depends on, how I'm kind of feeling that day. If I get in like a fight with my brother, obviously, Oregon's going to be up there. No, but usually the schools that are usually in the top 3 or on my top 3, they're usually pretty interchangeable. on that list. But that's what I'm still saying about that official visit, because one of those 4 or 5, I'm not going to say the name, but one of the 4 and 5 could fly up to number 1 just based off the official visit that I had.
You just narrowed your list down to 5 a couple of weeks back, so you're just kind of entering the fourth quarter of this for you, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch when these official visits resume. I'll get you out of here on this. You had the unfortunate issue with your Twitter account. So,
Yep.
The Oregon, the LSU, the Texas A&M, and Oklahoma fans, what's your new account that they can give you a follow?
It's at Bryce Foster 5.
Bryce Foster 5. Look for a picture of the mountain on it, and you can't go wrong. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you hopping on, Bryce. It's good to have you, buddy.
Yes, sir, for sure.